FX presents the Indu Podcast with your host, T. Sterling Watson.
Good morning, Indubians. I'm T. Sterling Watson.
And I'm Kortney.
This is the Indu Podcast, where our morning drive time meets late night talk show as we aim to entertain, enlighten, and provide an auditory escape with knowledge and nonsense. Thank you for stopping by and pressing play. We're recording live from the south side of Wakanda in Little New Indubia on the corner of T'Chaka and MLK Drive. Kortney, how are you doing?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I am spectacular. Well, had a whole bunch of technical snafus, but then again, what else is new, I suppose? I don't know.
Well, not a whole lot. Just surviving the heat and counting down to Christmas. Well, first counting down to Halloween and then Christmas.
I was about to say, wow, Christmas already? But then again, if I think back to my Walmart days, this is about the time when Christmas merchandise starts to appear in our rotation, or rather, like, we get the boxes, we get to put them aside because it's clearly not time to put them out. But then again, maybe it is now because it just starts earlier and earlier each year, just like the pumpkin spice latte. So
is that out yet?
It is. They apparently they said they brought it out early, like in, I want to say mid-August, if not like a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, I mean, I feel like that's normal. I mean, from last year or maybe the year, well, last year we can't really count, but the year before that, it seems like it came out about this time because it is fall, technically. It is September 1st.
It's not, though. It's not yet fall. Fall doesn't actually become official until like end of September. I believe that's what my calendar says, at least.
But like calendars that like are how am I trying to put this? That have like the depictions of weather or nature, I suppose. There's sometimes like autumn leaves and usually like a schoolhouse or something to signify, like, you know. And
even in my favorite game right now, Animal Crossing, with today being September 1st, it's like we're starting to get more fall stuff in the game, but that does not mean that it is officially fall. Fall does not occur officially in the Northern Hemisphere until September 22nd.
Okay. Well, leaves are falling here. And it's hot where you are. It is rainy here. The remnants of Ida is visiting us as we record. So I've got my pants rolled up just in case. And it gets a little too flood watchy out in these parts here. But more importantly, because it is September 1st that we're recording, and hopefully when this comes out, it is the first day of school here in Little and New Indubia. And the kid has gone off to school for the first day. So
how was it?
It was something. It's also something that I'm kind of coming down from because he missed the bus apparently this morning. But I mean, Ashley was out there with him to make sure that he got on the bus and what have you. But apparently maybe they missed the bus. So she ended up just taking him to school. He had a great day, which I did record, unbeknownst to him. I don't think he realized I was recording, because if I did, he'd be like, oh, no, I don't want to say, I'm too shy, because, he gets that way. Or maybe not. Maybe he'll be the opposite, and then he'll really start to ham it up and actually tell us what happened. And because, as you do know, as you have dealt with small children, sometimes it's difficult to pull answers out of them. And you ask them, how was your day? And then what would they normally say? Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. Or as Ken did, good.
Yep.
And that's it. So then we have to kind of give him like some lead on questions like, hey, did you write anything today? And, what did your teacher say? So we eventually pulled this information out of him. He did apparently, I kind of want to say he made friends, but I mean, he makes friends with just about anyone he meets. So there's that. But I'll say all that to say that this is something that will be in the new Love Blurds podcast, which is available. The episode that I'm referring to has not yet been recorded, but this portion has, where Ken, Ashley, and I all discuss his first day of school. Now,
nice.
That's the day part. Then there's the whole after school part, which again, we had some issues regarding bus and him knowing when to get off the bus, or even saying that, hey, I need to get off the bus. This is my stop. So there was that ordeal, but there's also the ordeal that there weren't at first any buses to take the kids home. So that I don't know what happened there or why that happened. But I mean, kudos to the school, and you know, they have a pretty decent communication system. It could be just a tinge better, but they did alert us to say, hey, the buses are running late. They have not even boarded the buses, but we will send you a notification when they have and when they're leaving. And I believe that they did do that. So we went outside to wait at his bus stop, but I think we still missed it, or rather he missed it because we were out there, but he didn't know when to get off. And then eventually he was brought back to the school. So,
oh no.
Yeah. So
did you retrieve him? Did you retrieve him back? Like, do you have him now?
Oh yes. He's here.
Okay.
And because we went to go pick him up, and then he just, I mean, you know, just all happy-go-lucky and singing a song about a chicken wing or something. I don't know, but Ashley was familiar with it, so it was all good. So other than us stressed out, worried parents wondering where he is and coming down from that anxiety rush, and I had to go make myself a sandwich, and we're all good. We're all good. Everybody's good.
Good.
Despite the fact it was raining. Yeah, yes. Overall, successful first day. Yeah. I mean, he had to change his clothes, which meant basically just take all his clothes off and run around naked like he likes to do. So
I get it.
Yeah, he's good. He's happy, and made him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So he's even happier. So it's all good here. We're good. We're good.
Nice.
And
glad it was a successful first day.
Right. Mommy and Daddy T may have drinks later just to take off the rest of that edge that we're still undoubtedly
I'll join
feeling.
you. Yeah, I got you. I'll join you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because
solidarity. I get it.
Right. Because this is our first day of school. Even though he's starting first grade, this is our first time kind of going through the whole motions of like, you're back at school and, you know, make sure you catch the bus and catch the bus back. Yeah. It's a trip. Like,
yeah,
I don't think these are one of those things that they don't tell you about. Like, hey, just in case the bus doesn't happen, you're going to freak out. So, you know, that's, yeah. But we're good.
You don't think that things like that will happen when you send your child to school. You kind of, whether you have the discussion or not, it's like, hi, you're going to ride the bus to school. Hey, guess what? You're going to ride that same bus back and you got to watch for it.
Right.
So you can get off and come home.
And we did that as we brought him home. We went through the route that he came home, and we're like, did the bus stop here? And it was like, at some point he kind of like, the bus stopped everywhere. I'm like, oh, okay. So basically what you need to know is where you live, and you see that the apartment is passing like our building. So that's when you got to tell the bus driver, hey, you know, I got to get off here. Cause I don't know. I maybe he didn't know where his stop was. So yeah.
Well, and it's his first day not doing it with y'all. So he has to think about it on his own. And
right.
That takes a little practice.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is.
Probably. Yeah.
Right. Some practice, and he'll get the hang of it. So hopefully tomorrow will go a bit smoother, and maybe we'll catch the bus in the morning and in the afternoon, and everything will, we got it worked out. We'll have it worked out. So that's that. Now I do have some breaking news. If you can indulge me with breaking news. Now, I don't know how you feel about, well, I'll just kind of break it how I saw it, where it was Netflix announcing a huge deal. Like they spent, as I read in one trade, north of $500 million to acquire this like groundbreaking television program that I don't know if you've watched, but I'm admittedly a fan of, and I just need to talk about it just for a little bit. And
okay.
that is the show Seinfeld.
Oh God.
I mean, I was really on the fence because I really had no idea how, if like you watched it or if you like it.
Nope.
You don't like it. Okay.
Well, no, I just haven't really. I never got into it. I think I tried watching it a couple times and it just didn't do anything for me. I mean, it's not a bad show. It's just not one that I got into.
Right. And for me, it was a show that I grew up watching. And even though there was a lot of things I didn't quite understand until I got a little older, and then it's a show that's always has reruns that are on like constantly. That is, if you are, still have cable, gross. But like, if you're still plugged into stuff, and Hulu had acquired it for a while. So it was like one of their drawing points, like, hey, we've got Seinfeld, one of the best sitcoms, out there. Okay. I know that's debatable because I'm talking to someone who's a fan of The Office and blah, blah, blah. We know.
Oh, I'm tried it.
I'm not, oh my God.
No one asked you. No one asked you though. Whatever you're about to say, it's unsolicited information though.
Well, I wasn't trying to shots fired or anything. I'm just saying it's one of those subjective things, but at the same time, there are numbers to back what it is I am saying, where it drew in viewers and it left at the top of its game with like a whole 9 seasons, a whole 180 episodes. I've known like the history, not all of the history, but a good chunk of it, of like how it didn't even almost survive the first season because I mean, there's a lot of shows that don't survive.
Right. There's a lot of shows that get bought, and they even like shoot a few of the episodes and the pilot never airs. Right. So yeah, I mean, I didn't care for this is a whole different topic. But I didn't care for the first season myself. For like after the first watch, I was like, it's so dry. It's like dry humor, but it's
The Office.
The Office.
Okay, yeah. Just making sure.
Not the Seinfeld. I just it's. I don't have a hatred towards it like Friends. But yeah, it's a little bit. Maybe it's more of a disdain, like a feelings of disdain towards Friends. I don't hate it.
I can understand, and we'll jump back to Friends in just a moment. I will also say, because if you were talking about the first season of Seinfeld being not so great, you will also be correct, because it's not great. But it has to find its footing, like a lot of shows.
Exactly. I feel like most shows start out I don't want to say they start off shaky, but it just takes a season or so for them to find their ground, find their footing, and really get into the groove of it. And especially like shows like The Office, where they don't even know if they're going to be picked up, period, let alone, if their first season is going to be aired in its entirety. So there's just a lot of, I know now there's a lot of moving parts to all that. And very few shows start off like right where they end up, and I think that's a good thing. Right. I mean, it shows growth, and it shows that there's some change going on, and that's good. That's good, I think.
I agree. And I have to take it back. It's not the first season of Seinfeld. It's actually the pilot episode, which again, that's totally different because it's a pilot. It's not going to look the same as the rest of the series. Right. And the only difference between like season 1 through season 9 is you can just tell from where they are based on like Jerry's haircut, the kind of the fashion that's going on. Actually, the fashion stays pretty consistent. But going back to The Office, that first season was definitely shaky because they pretty much used, I think, not necessarily the same script, but a very similar one from the UK version.
Yeah. So I think it was the same. I mean, maybe some minor changes, but my understanding is it's the same. Right. And I've been told like even the UK version is a bit superior in at least that first season or series.
I
can see that.
Yeah, because it's British humor.
Yeah, it's British. That's exactly it. It's British humor, and because they hadn't not translated, but I guess translated it into
Transposed?
American humor.
I don't know.
Well, they hadn't taken the original content at that point and like build, they didn't build upon that. They just basically lifted it directly from the British version for the American version, and it didn't quite translate very well to me. I mean, it was just very, very dry. And plus, again, as a new show, they hadn't built that foundation on their own to make it work. But then in later seasons, and I mean, especially in season 2, to me is when they really started to kind of change a bit, and it started to be more their own. And to me, it got better after that. Now, there are some questionable seasons later on in their career, but
of course,
it's overall, it was building onto, the UK version of The Office, which I don't really care for. I have tried it and I don't love it, but I do respect it for what it is. And
the original.
It is the OG. So
OG UK.
I respect it for what it is and what it gave us.
Right. And for that matter, I mean, I'm already a fan of Seinfeld, and I probably will do maybe not a whole rewatch, but I will start it. It starts October 1st for those that are like, oh, really? It's coming. And those who do want to watch it, because there are a lot of people who might be, in your camp and I don't quite get it. It's not for me. I never got the appeal of the show. And I feel like that could be a growing opinion where that kind of just sweeps over and takes over. Like, why do we, praise this show? Why do people love the show so much? And yes, it is a show about nothing, even though it is about a lot of things. And you can't deny a show like this because it's found its way into our lexicon and a lot of things that we say. Well, did. I don't know if we still say it, but yada, yada, yada,
I guess that's one thing that, well, okay. So I guess I didn't, because I didn't grow up on the show, it was always kind of there and in the background, like just in life. And so I just didn't pay much attention to it. And so when I got older and I had the opportunity to watch it, I was just like, no, but I don't get it, even though I hadn't given it a chance.
Right.
And then I gave it a chance and I was like,
still didn't care for it.
No, but I mean, since it's coming to the Netflix, I might have to give it a shot just because it's coming to the Netflix. So why not?
And I think what I'll do is I'll even, because I'm pretty well versed, and I want to say the first 3 or 4, maybe 5 seasons. I say that because I was collecting the DVDs back in that day, and that's kind of where my collection stopped. And I wasn't able, not that I wasn't able to, but priorities came into play, and I couldn't keep purchasing these DVD sets because they were expensive at the time. Now they're probably like $10, if not cheaper. I don't know, but at least the first couple seasons, maybe not that cheap. No, but there were the first couple seasons that I can definitely point to use like, okay, this is a classic Seinfeld episode, either in the fact that it just kind of establishes like who these people are, or it has something that made its way in the pop culture zeitgeist that we still maybe reference, or it harkens back to that, such as I know you used the term yada 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 already, but the close talker is something that comes to mind, where that really wasn't at least as far as I understand, that's like where I first heard about it. And then I hear other people talking, I was like, oh, he's a close talker, or and you know exactly what a close talker is, but the way that they show it in the show, it's hilarious. Or the concept of someone having, or a woman having man hands, and they always would do a close-up shot of this woman's hands, and then of course they swap in some man's hands, and it's just to really sell it. Oh man, there's a big one that I feel like I'm missing, and I can't quite remember what it is, but I'm sure it'll come up and then like, oh, that's what it is. So either way, October 1st, Seinfeld is coming, and I am looking forward to it because I feel like that will be my show that I will put on if I am trying to go to sleep or do some other outside work, kind of like how you do with The Office, and I can just put it on and just let it be on, and it's comfort TV for me. So
yeah, I understand that fully.
When last note here is what I loved about the DVDs is they had instead of having the not commentary, the like closed caption track. Instead of having closed caption, they would have a trivia one. So it would just spew out facts about like that particular episode, things that they reference in the show.
Like pop-up video.
Yes, exactly. Remember like pop-up video. I love it. And
love that show.
I wish they would bring it back even. I mean, especially with like some of these newer videos that are out, because, oh my God, I would love just some background information as to why this video exists or what happened. And yes, just so much.
Why did Lil Nas X decide to do that particular thing right there?
How did you know that's who I was thinking about?
I just knew it. I just knew it. Yep.
Oh goodness. I have not watched his latest video, but eventually I will one of these days. Because hey,
buckle up, buddy.
I mean, I had to tell that to Ashley when I had her watch his SNL performance, and she was not ready. So,
I haven't seen that.
Yep.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, because right now I can't quite remember, but there's just a whole bunch of revelations that she had no idea. Like she would hear the song on the radio and she'd kind of sing along to it. And like, do you know anything about this song and this and Lil Nas X? And like, so she was unaware until that performance, and she was like, yeah. So
it just takes the visuals to matching up with the lyrics, and new revelations.
So that alone, just watching her watch the performance was just it made my day. So that was great. But since we're talking about music, I figured we'll just go ahead into something that has been burning the cockles of my heart for a while. Well, at least since Sunday, I suppose. It's no secret. I don't like. I'm not like a not a closet fan, but just like a secret kind of like shying away like Kanye West fan, because I am. He's gone through his ups and his downs, and I am a fan of his music, not so much of like him as a person, I suppose. Like, because yes, he will do some obnoxious and crazy things. Just fill in the blank of whatever's been happening the last couple of years, year even. So yeah. But when it comes to his production and his lyrics and just music, the output, the quality, I'm here for that. I enjoy his albums, most of them. I still haven't really listened to Yeezus or 808s and Heartbreak. However, there is a podcast called Dissect, and they break down Yeezus, and they also break down My Dark Twisted Fantasy, which I believe is probably up there as a favorite album for me. So I say all that to say that his 10th studio album, Donda, was released on Sunday after many delays and some live listening events that's been happening the last few weeks. And I got to say, I'm on the record saying I overall enjoyed it. I liked it.
So why is it called Donda? Do we know that yet?
Yes. Donda is his late mother's name. So it's definitely has many references to her. She's even like on it. Like there's like past recordings of her.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
Yeah. And those that know anything about his life, she was a huge, like massive influence on his life. So her passing, a lot of people kind of say that that's where he kind of like took a turn. I guess so. Many feel that this is definitely, like I would say, like a tribute to her, but also he's the kind of performer or artist that I feel puts like all of his life into his work. Like he puts everything into it. So if you want to learn more about like who he is, rather than listening to interviews and things he may tweet or just kind of put out there, it's definitely in the music. So you can hear like how he feels and what he talks about with, I guess, I don't know if it's finalized his divorce with Kim, but that's in there. Yeah, that, I mean, like I said, I don't really follow his life, although I do see the headlines and whatnot. So like, interesting. But when's the next album? So that's kind of where I am with that. Sir. Yeah, just make the music. And one year he actually did that. He did no interviews, no press, no tweets, and later just came out with an album. And I'm like, great. That's what we want. Okay. You don't need to talk to us all the time. Just put music out. And
Rihanna.
Rihanna's doing her thing. She
really is. That was a little bit of shade, but in all honesty, she seems to be doing what she was actually meant to do. Not saying music ain't it, because I miss whatever she got coming. I already missed it, but she is living her life and she's doing the thing, and she is just being the boss lady that she is. So
a billionaire boss lady.
Excuse me. You are correct.
Yes. So she started with music, and then she's like, I'm going to dabble over here and do this, and then do this and this. And I mean, it's limitless.
It's working out for her.
It is. It truly is. And all the kudos to her. I don't know if Kanye's in the billionaire club, but he's probably creeping up there at this point, I would say, because I don't want to say he's got money to burn, but he's got more than most. So as for the album itself, I mentioned the Dissect podcast because they did a quick, like what the podcast itself does, and I'm pretty sure I talked about it before on here, is that they go track by track, and even like line by line, just talking about what the song is about, the production of the song, how it was made, and like what it means and what it means overall for like the album itself, like, or even the person who made the album. Some past examples would be Lauryn Hill's or Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, and Beyonce's Lemonade. And they even did, I don't know if they did track by track for Black is King, but I do know that they did examine it as well. They did a Kendrick Lamar's album, I think his most recent one, Tyler the Creator, and there's one other person I'm forgetting, Childish Gambino, or otherwise known as Donald Glover. So just in case people didn't know who that was, just in case. So
just in case, you never know.
Right. So in other words, I'm telling you to check out this podcast if you are into learning about music and the behind the scenes, or not behind the scenes, but like dissecting the lyrics and trying to figure out more about the album. And it helps a great deal because I'm like, oh, that's what they're saying. And that's what that song means. Great. So I say all that to say, because that's what I listened to today. They just kind of went through the Donda album, just talking about like their favorite track so far, kind of like how it made them feel. And it was great to listen to this because like I am just expecting or anticipating so much negativity whenever Kanye's brought up, that there are people that are going to hate on the album before they even listen to it.
Because it's Kanye.
Right, because it's Kanye. So he's just got this whole persona that comes with him, or this whole reputation, which I mean, he clearly addresses several times throughout several albums. Or maybe they will hate listen to it, which really won't matter because you still listen to it. So
right. And that's the point.
Right. So you could be like, nope, not going to listen to it. Not going to give them the time of my day. And there are some people that are like that, and, you know, to each their own, but I was going to listen with an open mind, which I did. And overall, like I said, enjoyed it. A few misses for me, a few surprises. But he actually did something that I really liked, and he really like let some of these songs like just breathe. And I think back of there's an Alicia Keys album back. I'm trying to think of which album it was. Something about freedom. I can't remember what it is, but there are a couple songs on there. Like she's finished her lyrics, but then the song keeps going, and it's just these like instrumentals that are like, yes. So Kanye did that too on this album, and it's almost almost 2 hours long. The album itself.
Is?
Yes. It could be maybe an hour and a half if you cut out like the last, I think it's 4 songs, which are sequels. I'm putting that in quotes, sequels to previous songs on the album. Cause there's like a song called, is it Dear God Part 2? I don't know. There's a bunch of songs called Part 2 at the end, like Jail Part 2, which is one of the most controversial songs on there. I'm going to come out and say that now. It's controversial because Marilyn Manson's on it. And so is DaBaby.
Oh,
right.
Ooh. That sounds like very controversial. Why did he, what?
Yeah. And I would divert people who are like, why, what's happening? What? I don't want to know. I would just tell them to go check out this Dissect podcast because they had their theory as to why they're on there because of the overarching theme of the album, which could be talking about redemption or looking at people in like people who you normally see in like these dark lights, and don't mean that just because Marilyn Manson is like, you know, goth king or whatever, but like who have this stigma or this grossness about them. Because hey, he's been accused of sexual assault many times. So yeah. So that's basically what is happening with him, in case you didn't know. And I suppose maybe it's a way of already trying to say we're already like giving them negative light, and let's open up for forgiveness, I suppose. I'm not really sure. I'm already kind of forgetting the points that were made, but I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing, but I still may not necessarily listen to that song because of them, despite the fact that it sounds so good. I'm like, I hate this. Yeah. I had the same problem with Ignition and the remix to actually, no, specifically the remix to Ignition. I dare not go any further because
it was a blank song and I can't say it on air. And so, yes, moving on. Yes. I mean, because occasionally it happens even in this household where we may just start singing some of the lyrics to some of the other songs. I'm like, oh, no, we can't sing that song. That's bad. That's a bad man. Banned. It's banned. Yep. And not allowed. So I don't know. There's more, I'm sure, to the reasons why he has these artists on here, and it's just interesting who he has on. He's reunited with Jay-Z on one song, and the Lox make an appearance, like all 3 of them, and that's like the longest track on the whole album, which is like 10 minutes. That's oh wow,
yeah, and it's good too. And but my favorite part is I think like the last 3 or 4 songs on the album, and those are like the most, I would say, like gospel infused, the most like just uplifting. And like if you know, you're not too careful, you might even shed a tear because again, going back to the production, because he does a lot of singing on this, and you just hear his heart. And I think that's what I was doing. I was listening, you know, to him, listening to his story and how he feels, and he poured all of that into the production. So that is what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to check this out, and I'm saying, hey, if you can get past the man and listen to the music and listen to him as an artist, because I know sometimes it's hard to separate art from artist. I know that. Yeah. Because I have that issue. I mean, we're talking about one guy without even actually saying his name. So I can't do it for everybody, but I can do it for him. So yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That is my plea. It is a positive review. I don't know where it ranks in his overall catalog yet, but it's an album that I already feel myself coming back to, like I do with Graduation and basically his first few albums. So So yeah, I had to get all that out just to, you know, that I liked it. And the other part of that, of me just coming out and saying that, is because I feel like that you almost would be shunned for saying that you like something when you're like, no, you're not supposed to like this because he's did such and such a thing. Right. Like, oh, okay. But who cares?
Well, you have inspired me to at least give it a shot. I forgot because it's been delayed for so many times, and I'm not a hater of Kanye, but I'm not really a fan. So I wasn't like looking for this album. And so I kind of forgot about it. So now that it is out and you have given it some pretty good high praise, I will give it a shot and let you know.
All right. I will say, because I'm looking at the playlist now, or not the playlist, but the track listing. Jail is one that I liked. Believe What I Say, because that samples Lauryn Hill. That's not why I like it, but it's just it's got a bop to it. So you kind of, it's one of the more up tempo ones, and it's kind of fun, even though the story may not necessarily be, but whatever. I like it. Let's see. Is it the last few here? I guess starting with Pure Souls, Come to Life, especially. Come to Life is the one that would get me all in my feels. And I actually had on repeat for a little while today. Just like, I need to hear it one more time. You know what? One more time. Yeah. So if I had to say, if there was one song that I would truly, truly recommend off of this entire album, it would be Come to Life.
Come to Life. All right. Noted.
And then if you're feeling a bit more like, I need some good old fashioned hip hop, then Jesus Lord Part 2. And yes, that is the one. That is the one that's 10 minutes long, but it's worth it. Because
10-minute song, huh?
Yeah, because you got Kanye, you got Jay Electronica, you got the Locks, all three of them. And then I forgot his name. There's a guy who it's not spoken word, but he's telling the story about his father who is in prison and has been in prison. And he's still in prison, basically. And it's just his son kind of detailing all the times that he was supposed to get out and he hasn't. So yes, that is my pitch, my plug, I suppose, my review and even recommendation, if you will. So yes, that is Donda, Kanye's 10th album, which I think still might be played around with a little bit, because I heard that like the cover album currently is just black. It's just a black
really?
Like, yeah, it's not even an image. So I'm like, last person to this was Jay-Z. And then I'm also thinking of like the Beatles having their white album, but I think that's actually what they called it. And I think
Weezer, black.
Yeah. I think Weezer did an album like that too, where it's just a solid color, and like it's the blue album or whatever it was. So
right.
So I feel like I want to make a list of all the albums are just nothing, just a color. That's it. That's what the album is. And then you figure out what the rest of it is. And it's also, for those who don't like swearing or anything like that, it is completely censored. So there are a few guest spots that may say some questionable things, but you don't hear it. So you're good. So if you're looking for the explicit version, it doesn't exist.
Well, that was my next question was the language on there. Is it pretty, because like I'm looking at the song, like the songs now, and there's no E's next to it. And I'm looking at the title and it's very,
looks very
I don't want to say
almost like a gospel album, but not like Christian.
But like almost, but so yeah.
That is a good question. And I would not classify it as like a gospel or Christian rap or Christian album, but there are definitely very, very strong, like it leans into being like a Christian / gospel album. But his last album, Jesus is King, is definitely a gospel album. This one
still haven't listened
to. Yeah, I listened to it once, but it didn't really. I think I might have been in a different state of mind because it might have been in the heights of the pandemic. I don't remember, but it's only recently
that it came out in 2019, but it may not have picked up steam till after, like in the next year,
right? And even then, like I was like, okay, I just might have been wasn't in the state of mind to listen to it. Whereas for this, I just started, I think because I heard snippets of it and I kind of wanted to get to those other snippets that I heard. So after listening to it once, I'm like, okay, there's some good ones in there. Then going back until I realized like, oh, I didn't listen to anything else today except for this album. So, which I think is a sign usually for me of a good album. If I just go back and listen to it again, then, it's good. So if I just listen to it once, I'm like, okay, that's done. Moving on. Then I don't know. Try harder. I don't I don't, no offense to anybody else out there, because sometimes it's just my timing or just too much going on, or I'm backlogged in podcasts like I am now. So, but there you have it. Go check it out. If you want to chat more, then by all means, reach out. Let's talk about it, because I feel like it is one of those albums to bring on discussion, like some of the things he talks about. So I say go for it.
Nice.
Did you have any other questions about it?
No, I mean, I think I just need to get into it myself and I don't know, try it out and see what I think. Like I said, it was not even on my radar. So, it's kind of good to hear your perspective about it, as always.
Oh, thanks. I do try to keep my ear to definitely to new things, but also to artists that I've been listening to for years. And he's definitely one of them since College Dropout. So, which a lot of people would say is his best album. I don't know that for certain, but I definitely hear the growth, and each one definitely has a different flavor to it, as does this one. And yeah, I'm here for it. So
nice.
So I do have a Black History fact for you for today.
Awesome.
Black History facts. Now, I know that you love scary movies. So I'm sure you've seen Candyman already.
Of course. Twice.
Yes, twice? Ah.
Yeah.
Have you said it several times too out loud?
No,
like mirrors?
That would be bad.
No. No, I am joking, but you did see Candyman?
I did not see Candyman.
Okay,
no.
just making sure. Just making sure.
Not going to see that.
I thought somebody might have pulled you, like, let's go see it. I'm like, okay.
And then I forgot what it was about. And a guy who sells candy. Oh.
Right. Which currently that is honestly, that's what Ken thinks the movie is. So.
Bless his pure sweetheart.
I know. We were all together, like with my parents and my sister and her family, and I believe it was my niece who saw it, and she's having a fun time just not yelling, but saying Candyman like 5 times whenever she walks into a room, just because it amuses her. So
monster. She's a monster.
So Ken heard this, and now he just likes to say it, not knowing really what he's saying or the story behind it, and thinks that it has to do with candy. So we won't, so we won't pop that bubble of dreams for
him.
Let him
think. Yeah. Let him think the best. Let him believe a little bit.
Because he said it again today. And I'm like, what? Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot what happened Sunday. Yes. You just got excited because you heard someone say it. So he's in that stage of just repeating things too. So
yeah.
It's great. Love it. Anyway, bring up Candyman, your favorite movie, because Nia DaCosta or DaCosta? DaCosta.
DaCosta, I think.
DaCosta, yeah. She is now the first Black female director to debut a film at #1 in the U.S. box office.
That's awesome.
Yes, indeed.
Good for her.
So it is a movie that I may never see, but I am so happy for her. Like, I think if anything, I probably should just buy a seat every day using my AMC app, because I have free seats. Well, I'm one of the A-list premiere thing. Nothing special, nothing fancy. It's okay. It's cool. It's just peons below me. Anyway, I could always just get a seat and not go, but she still gets my money. So that's the point I'm trying to make there. I could do that to say oh yeah, I got a stub. I saw it. I saw the stub. So yeah. I'm also waiting for another podcast. Shout out to Too Scary Didn't Watch. I'm waiting for them to do their recap of it, so then I can really get the full experience of it.
I told you that I started listening to that podcast thanks to your suggestion, and I loved it. But then I had to stop listening to it because it was too scary to listen to. Did I tell you that?
You did, and it was actually Berto, I think, who told us about it. And that's how.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I forgot what movie. I forgot what movie he started.
The Witch, maybe.
It may have been The Witch. I think that's what you maybe have listened to. I didn't listen to that episode.
Yeah, don't. It's very yeah.
You're
just
telling
the way that the hostess, Lord, the way that the host
right.
Explained it, and I mean, she was just talking about it, but I guess just she did a really good job with imagery. And listen, it was scary enough, and I was like, because I think they covered Midsommar as well, and nope, I was done after that. I said, no, this is too scary. I can't sleep at night.
She's actually really good at summarizing, and there was one recently, and I'll have to scroll through to see which one it was, but it actually did kind of scare me a bit, where I'm like, ooh, I need some cartoons or something, because I'm not feeling right now.
Because it's not so much, I think that's what's scary, what's so awesome about like horror and the scary movie genre is that most times it's not very scary what you see. I mean, some of it is pretty gruesome or whatever, but it's like the feeling and the idea behind it, and that is to me, that's what gets me, the psychological scary part of it. And so with her summaries and her the descriptions are pretty good, and they plant those images in your mind, so that does not help with the scary factor, or should I say it does, but it's like the psychological part of it. Like, why was that man just staring at her before he brutally tortured? It's just it's that really gets me the most, I think.
I'm trying to scroll through now real quick just to see if I can find which episode it was that really kind of like, ooh, that just left a feeling.
A bad taste, like a bad feeling in your mouth or in your mind, whatever.
But at the same time, it helps me because now I know, like, if I'm trapped in a room where this movie's playing,
get out really quickly.
I know what to expect. I think the movie I was thinking of was Funny Games. Now that's Funny Games, not Fun and Games, but Funny Games. And it's a movie that I was familiar with prior, and I kind of knew like the plot points, but the way that she just kind of broke it down as to what was happening or what happened throughout the movie really made it very uneasy for me. And like one of the genres that I hate the most in horror is oh my god, it just escaped me. Breaking and entering. What is it? Where they come into your home?
Burglary?
No. Well, I mean, that's technically what it is. Home invasion. There it is.
Oh.
The subgenre of horror is home invasion.
I gotcha.
So I really don't care for those.
So like Purge, maybe?
Purge would be one. The first one was.
Okay.
From what, so. Yeah, from what I'm told, all the other ones after that are just kind of Purge elsewhere.
Mayhem. Yeah, mayhem in the streets.
Yeah. So they're not really invading your home, still invading your personal space and I guess trying to kill you. But
sure.
It gets more thrillery than it does horror. So
yeah, that's true.
And you would probably still get creeped out because they got creepy masks and whatnot. So yeah.
The Purge itself, I told you about this. The idea of a purge in a scary movie or in any movie, or just the idea of it, scares me because I feel like that's one of the things that could really happen in the world.
Absolutely. And I believe if it's not like the most recent one, there is one where I think it's the first Purge, not the first Purge movie, but it's actually called the first Purge.
Yeah.
So I think that one was supposed to kind of like really harken on what has recently transpired in our own history to say, hey, this is the groundwork is what this can happen. So
nope, I don't like it.
And then the most recent Purge movie basically says like, some people, they got the memo that the purge is over, but they're going to keep doing their purge stuff. So
what? See?
Yeah, we're going to keep on purging.
Nope, I don't like it.
So yeah, so that's Candyman, and I just saw that their newest episode is actually The Faculty, which I have seen, but I will gladly listen to them describe scene by scene what's happening. So far I've recommended Dissect and Too Scared Didn't Watch, two podcasts that break down things that you can consume but don't have to, because they will do it for you. So there you have it. But all that to say, Candyman, I'm sure they will do it. They did Old recently, which I think I had already spoiled for myself. I'm not sure that would be considered horror. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Not so much that it scared me. I was just looking for the last one that kind of scared me. And it was Funny Games. You wouldn't like it at all.
Nope. I already hate it. Thanks.
Yep. No problem. I do have some Sheboygan news.
Good morning, Sheboygan.
Hold on, I had to go get the news article in place. And I'm not sure if it's something that they would be proud of. No, actually, they shouldn't be because of how it's ranked. Sheboygan is ranked the third drunkest city in the United States.
Whoa.
Yes.
That escalated kind of quickly.
Yeah. So, yep. It is the third. I'm trying to go back and see what the first two are. Appleton, Wisconsin, and then next is it Dubuque, Iowa? Is that how you say that?
I think it is Dubuque. Don't give me the lion though.
Don't give it to you. You're not sure either?
I said don't get me to lion.
Oh, get to lion. Okay, you heard it here first. Kortney says it's actually Dubuque, Iowa. I'm just repeating her. But yes, number 3 is Sheboygan. And they break this down by excessive drinking rate and the percent alcohol related driving deaths, which is again why it's not necessarily a good list to be on.
Right.
So I mean, there's a lot of like Wisconsin cities listed on here. So I'm like, guys, you okay? So wow. I mean, we've got other states too. Oh, I'm just now seeing Connecticut down here. This is number 45, Norwich, New London.
Yeah, that's kind of far down the list, right?
It is. I was trying to find like if they had an opposite list of like the least or I guess maybe the soberest states or cities rather. And they didn't have that available to me. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, it's not a great thing because they're relating it to like drunk driving and those that may have died because of a drunk driver and just excessive drinking. And they even break down what is defined as excessive drinking. So where did that go? I've been scrolling all over this particular article, so I lost it already. Excessive drinking includes both binge and heavy drinking. Heavy drinking is defined as consuming at least 15 drinks a week or averaging 2 or more drinks a day for men, according to the CDC. For women, it's 8 drinks or more per week or more than 1 drink on an average day. Binge drinking is defined as a pattern of alcohol consumption that brings a person's blood alcohol concentration level to 0.08 or higher, estimated to take about 5 or more drinks within 2 hours for men and 4 or more drinks for women. So,
wow. Good to know.
Yes. So fatal car accidents that involve alcohol appear to be more common in the cities that the highest excessive drinking rates nationwide. 27% of all driving deaths involve alcohol. And in Sheboygan, 31.5% of fatal car accidents are alcohol related. So
come on, get it together, Sheboygan.
Please do. And anybody listening, I mean, an occasional drink is here and there. Okay. But like, if you do have a drinking problem, then, please seek help. Or if just don't get behind the wheel, please be safe. That's really what we want. Be safe.
Yeah. Just be safe. Don't hurt yourself or others.
Right. The last 2 years have been rough, but yeah, please be safe.
Yes.
No drinking and driving. That is your PSA for today as well. And
wait, did you say last 2 years, meaning 2021 and 2020? Or
you know what? I will make this amendment. It's been rough since 2016. So please hang in there.
Yes, it's been a rough life. But yes, 2016 was a yeah. I
mean, I feel like I feel like it may have started prior to that, but I do just recall like people saying, oh, here we go, 2017, or people saying 2017 told 2016, hold my beer. And then each year after that kept passing a beer along.
Been getting worse and worse.
And I'm trying to tell whoever this bartender is, like, stop giving these years.
Like, cut them off. Like,
right.
Cut them off.
Right.
That's a thing. Cut them off.
Or the previous year can be like, no, brah, you keep your beer, please. Because we're all drunk and crazy. So we can't do it anymore. We can't. We need a break. And I kind of felt like this year would have been that break. At times it is. I mean, we all, I mean, you and I both have had our like personal like achievements, if you will, as well as our own disappointments. And I can't place that on the year. It's just sometimes things happen. So
it's just life. Yeah.
It is.
Not always ups. Not always an upper.
It isn't. But, and I say this to everyone, for when those ups do come, celebrate them.
Oh, yeah. Like, exploit them almost. Because you just never know when, you know, when, I don't want to say when, not when the ball drops. What is it? When the pendulum swings. I don't want to say it like that, because then I don't want to get in the habit of thinking, oh, something good is happening. That means something bad is around the corner. Don't want to get into that dangerous loop, but you just never know. Life is really unpredictable, and you never know when good times or bad times happen. So I'm learning, me personally, I'm learning to stay in the moment and be present, because that's all I got, and that's all I can really control. So, you know,
with
that is Kortney's advice corner.
I love it. I think we can flow just nicely into what it is that you are grateful for today.
This has been I have been ruminating on this today, because it's been a particularly rough week. So, and so focusing on what I'm grateful for has helped. And so I think about my mom, because I'm very grateful for my mom, but not just her, but like our relationship. We have a very good relationship, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm also very grateful for I have a patio that it's like a stone patio that I actually built last year. And
all right.
As the time goes on, like I add more and more to it, and like it has some furniture out there. And my most recent addition is a wind chime that I guess I've always kind of liked wind chimes, but I've never really thought much about them. And so on my trip, I took a trip with my mom recently, and I got a wind chime because it was beautiful. I love the sound of it. And I was like, hey, I'm on vacation. Why not? So I put the wind chime out on the patio, hung it from my pergola, and which is one of my favorite things in the world. So that area has
what is that now? A pergola?
Pergola. It's like, it's hard to explain, but it's like a gazebo. It's got I'll have to send you a picture. It's hard for me to describe. I just call it a gazebo when people ask me what a pergola is. But I will send you a picture of it.
Well, that is today's word watch. Good job.
Yeah, except I didn't explain the word, but that's okay. Y'all can look it up.
Right.
So, but yes, I have that like area, and like I love being outside. I love being kind of in nature. So it's just my little spot. And with the wind chime out there, it just kind of brings it all together. Reminds me of my mom, and you know, because she is still here living on this earth. But I got it on our trip, you know. So it's a peaceful area. I love it. Sometimes I can't go out there because it's just too hot, but when I can go out there, it's always a good reset for me. So I'm very grateful for that sacred space.
I'm glad. That's good. That's nice. Pergola. I'm still hung up on that part, but the what it represents is also great. So I'm very happy for that, and for you to have that.
Thank you. What are you grateful for?
I feel like I'm just still circling around like my wife, and just how she does bring me peace after, because it's been a stressful week for the both of us. So I think we both kind of mellow each other out. Like if we both had our own kind of stresses, like today, for example, in the whole bus situation, but just things, maybe work has been a little rough or just difficult. Or she has like doctor's appointments, so she's concerned how that might turn out. So you reunite, and yes, it feels so good, but also it's just soothing each other. So we were able to like, it's okay. We made it through this day. We made it through that ordeal, and we have ways of just making each other laugh by like some of the things that have given us that stress or that anxiety or what have you. We'll find some silver lining, something in it that only we could probably laugh at. And I'm enamored that I'm able to do that with her, and she can do that with me, and it's great. So I am grateful for our sense of humor and finding joy and light in some kind of bleak, and I don't want to say it's completely dark because we've been in darker situations, but in some trying times. So I'm grateful for her and keeping me level and sane. So yeah.
Awesome.
Don't have a wind chime, although it's not as bad as a couple of my other friends who they ask, how's married life? And I'm like, well, and this is my answer. So I'm sure, Kortney, you may have that same question, like, how is married life? And I'll tell you, it's very similar to the same as before, except now we are absolutely free to be as 100% weird as we are meant to be.
Were you not that free before?
Possibly 90%, but now it's like, and that extra level of weirdness, like, now you're not going anywhere. So I can like let the full crazy out and I don't know, just like bite you on your side just because. So, because yes, that's something that has happened. I don't know why she did it, but I'm like, oh, okay, that happened. So, just the weird things, or you just break out in a random song and just, because sometimes I'm like, oops, sorry, let me keep that inside. But no, I was just like, la 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 la, and just let it all out. And then have her deal with it. Like, you deal with that weirdness. I'm going to go make a sandwich and then continue singing my nonsense song and like, nah. And then she'll probably just nah right back at me. So yeah, it's great. I love it.
Awesome.
So yeah, definitely grateful for her. And just, she matches my level of weird. And yes, it does make people, I'm waiting for the point where we make people sick of us. Like, oh, here they come, these people. Oh, they just never stop. His House, that's another episode of Too Scary to Watch. Sorry, I had to open the list up again. I'm not necessarily recommending you watch these because I know you're not, or listen to these because I know you're not going to.
The movie?
His House.
His House?
His House.
Huh.
And I thought it was streaming somewhere like Amazon Prime or somewhere. I don't remember. But I remember listening to the episode. I'm like, ooh, that's kind of creepy. But I mean, most of these are, but some of them aren't. Like, I feel like The Faculty, I think you could listen to that one and be fine.
Maybe. I think I've seen that one. That's the one with Usher, right?
Yes. I'm laughing because that's the only like person for me that I remember. It's like, oh yeah, he was in that movie. Like, that's like one of the few movies he was in. Right. Yeah.
I want to say I saw it, or I know about it, or I don't know.
I've seen most of it, but that's about it. Yeah. Because I couldn't really tell you. I just know it ended up being about aliens kind of taking over people.
Right. Like almost Invasion of the Body Snatchers style, right?
Yes, which has been remade numerous times. And this is another take on it, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah. Looking through the list again. I don't know why, but yeah, that's it. So yeah, I think that does it for this episode. Now, do you have any recommendations?
I am currently watching Manifest. I can't remember if I mentioned that on our last episode or not, but I am still watching Manifest. There's 3 seasons available on Netflix. I don't know where they are in real life, like on TV, But there are
NBC.
three NBC.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What did I say?
You didn't know where they were, but
I didn't know where they were. Yeah, but thank you because yes.
Well, they had been canceled. However, Netflix picked them up to do their fourth and final season.
Oh, good to know. I thought it was ABC that they were on, but I don't know. TV.
It felt like an ABC show, kind of a little bit.
It did. I mean, anyways, but it's very. I really really like it. It's very similar to another show called. Well, it's somewhat similar to another show called The 4400. That
I see the similarities.
I used to watch that when it aired, and then I fell off, and now I can't remember a lot of it. So there's a lot of similarities, but they anyway. I started watching both again. Well, 4400 again, and then Manifest to compare, and then I got hooked on Manifest. So
you should throw Lost in the mix.
Yeah, I need to get back on that show because I used to watch it religiously. Like, would hit the chat forums after the show to talk about it with other crazy fans, and we would just theorize for hours and hours after the show, and it was awesome. And then I believe the writer's strike of 2008 or so.
Yeah, something like that.
Lost was really affected by that, and so they were off the air for like a couple months. And I was not as diehard of a fan as I thought I was, and didn't come back when they did. So, but I was a huge fan of Lost. Maybe I should get back on it since we're
please do,
dealing with missing people and plane crashes and plane disappearances and things. You know.
It's for me, it's definitely a top show, and I would really love to rewatch it. But like with life the way it is, like I know it can make it happen, but I just won't be able to I won't be able to binge it like I used to.
Yeah, no.
But it's definitely good.
Things is harder these days, but maybe one day or over time. Maybe not binging, but an episode a week or something.
Right, we can make it work, and I can maybe get my wife in on it too. Because I'm pretty sure she hasn't. I don't remember she has. You seen Lost? The TV show? Yeah, we'll have to rewatch it together. So yes, because she had walked in the room. So, but yes, we're trying to wrap it up. And my recommendation I had already talked about, which was that particular one song. You don't have to listen to the whole album, but Come to Life.
Come to Life, gotcha.
So yes, definitely listen to that. And then, hey, explore the rest of the album. Let's talk about it, and we'll move on from there. So yes, where can people find you?
People can find me on the Twitters at IamKHinton. So hit me up.
You can follow me on all things at Indoob. Go to Indoob.com. Tell someone you value that you value them. Live without regrets and live for the folks you love. Please wash your legs, your face, the bottom of your feet, the undersides of your dishes. Get vaccinated and wear a mask. Your mask.
Wear a freaking mask.
Not somebody else's mask. There's a whole story, but I won't get into it right now. It happened today, but just anyway. I've been your benevolent host, Steve Sterling Watson, and remember, if the world didn't suck, we'd all fall off.
Thanks for listening to the Indoob podcast, which was recorded from the south side of Wakanda in Little New Indubia on the corner of T'Chaka and MLK Drive, and is part of the Indoob network. Want more Indoob? Follow on Instagram and Twitter at Indoob and on Facebook at IndoobPod. You can contact us and send Ask Indoob questions by emailing indoobpod@gmail.com. Want to support or donate? Find the TeePublic store or become a patron on Patreon, where subscribing gives you perks and extra things from the Indoob network. Please subscribe, rate, comment, and share the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube, Podbean, and wherever else podcasts are found. And of course, visit Indoob.com for all of this and much more. Thank you so much for letting us entertain, enlighten, and provide an auditory escape with knowledge and nonsense. Until next time.
Use your words, Chief. Good boy.
This has been another 3SFX production. So we're starting the Love Blurreds podcast. What is that about? What is the Lovebirds blurb? I can't even say it. The Lovebirds podcast. What is that about?
It's about us.
Mm-hmm. And love.
And love.
And being a nerd.
And our nerdiness.
Mm-hmm. And basically watching TV shows and movies and talking about them and other things.
And about married life and
knucklehead kids, perhaps?
Some parenting things about, and stories about the kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of sighing will probably happen too, just because just the thought of a kid. If you've got a 5-year-old or even a 6-year-old or a 4-year-old, basically in that age range, yeah. But also nerdy stuff too, like Marvel movies and TV shows and superhero stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
Occasionally some books. I'll be talking about some books if I ever get the time to start reading again. That'd be nice.
Oh, of course, yes. And the occasional times I read books are what I consider reading books.
He doesn't read books. He has books read to him.
But I do consume them. They are consumed. It is considered read. Like, hey, you finished this book. So I read it. Anyway, all that on the Lovebirds podcast, which you can hear wherever you're listening to this probably. So do enjoy.